Hey everyone. Did you survive the last 10 or 7 to 10 days? Oh my gosh, the energies were insane. And I know it was a combination of all planetary alignments, solar activity, and the moon energy. My God. Like incredibly intense. That would be the correct word. I have a cat down here, so if you see my hand moving, um, yeah, and wow, really intense for people in my sphere of influence. A lot of exhaustion, and a lot of people getting physically sick and having physical symptoms. And I know for me, wow, I have like the exhaustion. I'm usually pretty exhausted all the time anyway, but this was incredibly different. But I did a check in for myself. And even though this was a collective thing, this was also a very deep purging for myself that has led to another shift, another apparent shifty shift in this awakening process. Um, and so I'm pretty sure if it's happened, a shift has happened in me, then certainly it's happened within you. And yeah, or if it hasn't happened yet, I think it's coming because we couldn't get it. You cannot have gone through that intense energy and not come out the other side with something being very different. Sorry, the light is changing in here. I'm having a hard time seeing. Um, yeah, so just in keeping with these personal share videos of sharing, I don't know, the deepening process in this awakening. What can I say? I am going to refer to, let me back up. Whenever I know a shift is coming, like many of you, you tend to find the right videos or you're drawn to a book. And what's happened in the last day or so, even today, um, yeah, I'm once again drawn to the book called Liberation by Ave. Oh, I have it right here. Duh. This one, Liberation, a spiritual autobiography. And in here, he has the Tree of Life. Let me see here. Actually, I have it on my computer, where he has what is the word? Delineated like the different levels. I hate that word. Levels of awakening. And for some reason, his mind fits with my mind, how I see things, and how he lays things out may be completely different from other people. But I tend to really like I get what he's saying, and I do know that the tree of liberation that he's uh, prepared or generated has been very accurate for me. And I'll just show you an image of it. It's a poor image. I don't think you can see very much, but on here he shows the different levels of awareness, blah blah blah. Like down here is like some of the words that he uses could be misleading. Like down here is presence, and this one is I am. When I was just talking about the I am, and then this level is the natural state, and then this level right here is, oh, I can't see it, universal state. Can't. Anyway, right in here, this big square in the middle is where, and I say this without ego. I guess it's kind of hard not to say it without ego, but this is where I have recognized myself to be in. He's calling that the absolute state. Absolute? Yeah. And then up here is pure selflessness, emptiness, and then blah, blah, liberation. Anyway, so am I back? I'm back. So, where I have known myself to be for like the last 2 years, taking that detour at the coffee shop experience, I'm going to read to you a little bit about what he calls the absolute state. And he says the absolute state is the abode of one who has truly realized the absolute. And I think a lot of people, the absolute seems like the absolute, like, oh, reached absolute reality and there's no further to go because it sounds like it's the absolute end. And even within myself, even though this sounds like pure non-duality, I knew there was something off. That's why I was like very restless the last 2 years because well, let me finish reading this. Anyway, it just says the absolute state, one who's realized the absolute absence is the ground of self-referral. And he's using the word absence, but I kept using the word non-existence. Like, yeah, all I feel here is non-existence, non-existence. And that's how I would refer to myself. And that's what he's saying. Absence or non-existence is the ground of self-referral. For one in this state, the self-reference is nothingness. And yes, I can attest to that because non-existence is nothingness. Um, for one who initially shifts into this state, duality becomes absent. There's obviously a collapse of subject object, no dualistic seeing of things. However, he goes on to say, which is what I was noticing, but didn't have the words for it, how I was feeling like there's me, self referral, non existence, underlying everything else, creating like, obviously, I'm, I'm not very good at, I haven't spoken about, I don't speak about these things to people. Hence why I make these videos in hopes that somebody out there will understand me. I mean, thank God for this book because I feel like I'm having a conversation with somebody, but it's really hard. Like, yes, I'm making these videos to share the journey, but I also realized I had to check myself. Am I doing this so that somebody could recognize how great I am? And maybe that's some of it. I might have to admit that, but not really. It's like I'm just hoping. I wish somebody would say, "Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. And let's have a conversation." Like I don't have anyone to talk about these things who gets it, who really experientially has realized this stuff because it's like you sound crazy. Anyway, I forgot where I was, which is normal. Yeah, so I was in this like non-existent space, non-duality, and yet I was feeling in myself going, okay, but there's this space, there was this gap I was feeling. This is how I'm experiencing it. It won't make sense to you. But if I'm non-existence, this non-existence or this absence, as Abe would call it, is still in a dualistic position because it's a non-existence aware of everything in the manifest realm. See, that is, and yet you can see, and then how you experience, okay, non-existence as the one big self having this experience. uh, Something I can't explain it. He explains it so well, and it just like so totally hit. Anyway, what's happened? And as I was contemplating this and reading about the absolute state versus the pure state of selflessness, what happened here is this non existent space has merged with the manifest. So there's not a me over here looking at all this and being the self and something, something. This literally has just happened. So my mind is blown. Okay. So I'm going to refer to it as absence as he does. Non-existence, absence has merged with the manifest. It's an incredible, weird feeling. And and I'm I what's happened is you dissolve, like everything dissolves, like nothing is here. Nothing is here. Never has been, never was. And I'll tell you what's fucking gone. There's never been a subject, right? Because there people and what I was talking about, oh, there's this ultimate subject, there's just one subject, one self. Well, that has totally gone. It never existed. It's not that it's not that it collapsed, it's that it never existed. Does this make sense? So there's never been an experiencer. There's never been a seer, a perceiver, but you could see at all these other levels of awakening. I could see it in my own progression that I was like, oh, there's an experiencer. You are the experiencer. But now the non-existent has merged with the existent, and it blows everything out of the water. I Everything dissolves into non-existence. Does this make sense? I know it doesn't. So I don't know what to tell you. Um, yeah, I'm sure. Uh, yeah, that's all I can tell you. That there is a shift, and he's calling it selflessness or pure selflessness, which at the same time moves into emptiness. I guess they're kind of, yeah, they, because it empties everything out. And I was looking in the mirror and kind of like resting in this, and I literally can feel myself like dissolving into non-existence. I know I sound crazy. Okay, so just if anybody's out there and you know what I'm talking about, please let me know that I'm not crazy. um but however, if you are in this deepening and awakening process and you're feeling this, oh yes, a non-dual and the whole I amness is has blown, it's gone. It's gone. Okay. I don't know what to tell you, but nah, yeah, there's never been a seer, doer, experiencer, perceiver ever. That has blown my mind. Um, and I'm just letting you know that there is such a thing. That is a level of awakening or something. Okay. And now, just to like, you know, the universe is so great because I'm over here all by myself thinking, am I crazy? Am I making this up? And you may be thinking it too, because, the mind cannot comprehend this. Oh, and I want to say that here's what he says about the pure selflessness level. Pure selflessness is not about the end of the limited self or depersonalization or disassociation or impersonality. Impersonality? It's not a state or an experience, but the realization of what has always been, that there has never been any self, any subjective reality or reference. Oh God, so true. And that there is no experiencer behind experience, no thinker behind thought, no seer behind the scene, and no transcendental awareness behind the so called manifestation. Uh, I mean, I get it. It just literally happened. Anyway, um, and he's right. He says down here, once it's seen, you can't unsee it. And that's kind of like this literally has just happened the last several hours. So yeah, don't know what to tell you. Okay. And so you don't think I'm crazy. So today I decided, oh, I'm going to do a little oracle session on Charlie Kirk, Candace Owens, Charlie Kirk. Just I'm curious. Um, and I kid you not. Okay, the two words, okay, the book is liberation, and the word on the tree was selflessness, right? I asked for two hexagram/gene keys for these two people. What are their roles? And what are the two gene keys that I get? For Charlie Kirk, I get gene key 27, selflessness. And for Candace Owens, I get 39. Um, she's playing the role of the provocateur that leads to liberation. How can this be? I was literally reading and moving into the shift of selflessness. And then I throw two hexagrams that come up with those two words. So if you don't believe me, believe the universe. Anyway, yeah. So that's all I want to say about this crazy shift that I know it's going to. I don't know. Is this something that is embodied? Is there no body? If it leads to emptiness, is there anything here to embody? I have no idea. This is brand new. This is why I'm all a little nutty here. Um, yeah, it's crazy. Okay, all for now. Bye.